Yeah, man. It was terrible. I knew I was madly in love with my wife. The minute I saw her, it was kind of love at first sight. But getting to the altar was so tough. 13 Jeff Bridges wrote 3 words on his bedroom door that would haunt him for decades. While the world saw Hollywood legend Jeff was hiding a terrible secret. He had panic attacks before scenes. He hid in garages to avoid his father. Even at 75, his heart rate hits 148 during filming, which was higher than during cancer treatment. Recently, he finally broke his silence at a major awards ceremony. What he revealed stunned everyone. The confession explains why he almost quit acting multiple times and why fame never felt right. Jeffrey Leon Bridges was born on December 4, 1949. His parents were actors, so instead of soft lullabies and baby blankets, Jeff's early days were surrounded by movie lights and set noise. When he was just 6 months old, his parents brought him to a film set. The movie was called The Company She Keeps, and it came out in January 1951. The director needed a real crying baby for one scene, so Jane Greer gave baby Jeff a tiny pinch and he cried right on cue. The scene was perfect. On the studio record, his name wasn't even listed. He was just called Crying Baby. Later in life, Jeff joked that his first paycheck probably went straight to diapers and baby milk. But without knowing it, his Hollywood journey had already begun. Before he could say his first word, he grew older. Jeff's dad, Lloyd Bridges, had mixed feelings about show business. He was famous, especially after a film called High Noon, but he didn't fully trust Hollywood. Around 1957 or 1958, he sat and his older brother bowed down and told them something surprising. He said most actors made less than $5,000 a year. He even had printed numbers to prove it. So he told them to focus on school. No acting jobs, unless their grades were higher than a B+. He even suggested they think about becoming engineers instead of actors. That rule stayed in the house for years, and it made Jeff think twice about fame. It planted a quiet fear that maybe acting wasn't stable enough. When Jeff was 13, something changed. He didn't want to be known just as Lloyd's son. So, in 1963, he took a marker and wrote, "Not an actor," on his bedroom door. He started painting at Brentwood Art Center and made his first $35 by selling a canvas on August 9, 1964. He also started a surf rock band called The Nozzles and played at small fairs in Santa Monica. His older brother, Bo, was learning acting scripts, but Jeff was learning guitar chords and brush strokes. His high school art trophies from 1966 still sit in his studio today. For Jeff, this wasn't just a phase. It was a message. He didn't want to follow a path just because it was easy. He wanted to find something real on his own. But the 1960s in Los Angeles weren't just about art and music. There were parties and drugs. By age 16, Jeff was smoking marijuana before math class. In the summer of 1967, he was trying LSD at jam sessions up in Topanga Canyon. One night on September 3rd, police stopped him. They found a roach in his Volkswagen Beetle. He was a minor, so they called his dad instead of arresting him. But it scared the family. Dorothy Bridges, his mother, made him start weekly counseling. Lloyd personally drove him to 2 rehab meetings that October in Malibu. Jeff later said it felt like he was about to miss the off-ramp in life. It was the first big wake-up call. Lectures weren't working, so Lloyd tried something different. One morning in early 1968, over breakfast, he said something clever. He told Jeff that acting could be a way to do everything. Fly jets, play music, paint, without needing to join the military or a band. Just one job, endless lives. That idea stuck with Jeff. It made acting sound like freedom, not a trap. Soon after, Jeff took a small acting role on his dad's show See Hunt. He partly did it just to buy a new Stratocaster guitar. Lloyd's quiet trick had worked. Jeff was in, but the promise of acting as freedom stuck with him for life. Even so, he didn't rush into Hollywood full-time. On May 12, 1967, at just 17, Jeff walked into a military office and signed up for the Coast Guard Reserve. The commitment lasted 8 years. It kept him out of the Vietnam War but also slowed down his film career. He worked weekends cleaning rust-off buoys and pulling midnight shifts. He later said it was torture. Still, the schedule left him with enough time to act during breaks. That's when he filmed The Last Picture Show in 1971 and Thunderbolt and Lightfoot in 1974. Both got him Oscar nominations. He wore his uniform and chased awards at the same time. In 1975, he finally left the Coast Guard. Coincidentally, that was also the year America ended the draft. Back in 1967, Jeff had also taken a Greyhound bus to New York to study at Herbert Berghoff Studio. The school was known for tough acting lessons, but Jeff didn't care much for that. He was more excited by the music clubs and street art. He brought his panoramic camera and spent time taking photos in subways and talking with musicians and painters. He skipped rehearsals to sneak into open mic nights at Cafe Wa. He only stayed a few months before returning home, but even that short time gave him a line he could tell his parents whenever they asked if he was serious about acting. Even after earning an Oscar nomination, Jeff almost walked away. In 1972, he bought a Malibu Beach place and rented a Venice studio, not to work on movies, but to make music and paint ocean scenes. No record deal, no gallery goal. He just wanted space, a break. He told his dad he might skip the next few movies. Then suddenly great roles started showing up. That break didn't last long. By 1973, his talk of quitting worried the whole family. They held a meeting in their home's living room. Dorothy, always the center of the family, pulled out a notebook where she tracked all of Jeff's